oh, but you said he was a gang. He wasn't a gang. We're not sure about that. Come back. Let us do due process.
They're saying we didn't do it the right way and we have to do it all over again?
If you do, you will be deported. Period. The end. Full stop.
Let's hop into a Fox News interview with MAGA interim attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, as she is going rather mask off on deportation. So leave us a like on this video. As I always say, it helps us out a ton. We appreciate it, and it's free. So there's no excuse not to. But otherwise, let's jump right in. We'll be back with the context and the fact checks very much needed.
I don't understand the Supreme Court. We deported an illegal alien gangbanger back to the country where he was born and raised, and they're saying we didn't do it the right way and we have to do it all over again? Why don't we just leave him there and say, okay, case closed?
Because this was part of the plan, right? So I can't speak politically. I'm going to speak solely on criminal. Here's how it goes. You come into this country. I believe his year was 2011. We know that was an illegal migration into this country. He didn't come through the front door. He went through the back door. And now they're saying, oh, but you said he was a gang. He wasn't a gang. We're not sure about that. Come back. Let us do due process.
It's hilarious that the thing they're like sighing over and stating is like, oh, it's such a big deal. Or how does the judge care about it? It's due process. It's literally due process. You know, a constitutional principle, the foundation of what keeps us different from these banana republics that MAGA was so worried about us becoming, what, 3 months ago? Now it's in like, who cares if we're a dictatorship? The issue is you deported him without due process. How do you know any of what you're saying without due process? It's literally that simple. The courts are going to uphold those rights over your partisan feelings. In this country, people have rights. Rights that are not dictated by the color of your skin, your gender, your sexual orientation, your status, your documentation, but on the grounds of being a person, on the grounds of this being America. Also, when he came here in 2011, the little context she's leaving out, he was a child fleeing persecution. Like, sure, I mean, he didn't file for asylum, but he damn sure could have. And since being here in the 14 years since, over a decade since, he's married, had children, given back to society, worked a job, paid taxes, hasn't gotten any charges, committed no crimes. But let's get rid of him because what? Like his bloodline's not pure enough?
Let me explain something that Americans are a little bit confused about, I believe. And now I've been sitting in New Jersey in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I'm fully briefed on this with ICE. We get administrative warrants from the courts, from the administrative courts, saying these people are in fact illegals, they should be deported. We then have to execute these warrants. We get them deported. Then you have judges saying, no, we don't like the way that was done. Put them back on a plane, bring them back to only establish what? That they were deported, or maybe they were or were not part of a gang. I don't care. You are, by definition, illegal. Okay, per the executive order, per the federal law, which is what my job is to follow. It's not political, it's law. You do not come into this country illegally. If you do, you will be deported. Period. The end. Full stop.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't matter if you came here as a child fleeing persecution. It doesn't matter if you grew up knowing nothing but American culture. It doesn't matter if you've married a citizen and have children with the citizen here with no criminal record whatsoever, but party of a family here, guys. You know, let's just rip that family apart because 14 years ago as a child, you did an oopsie where they again just deported him to a country where he had a court order to not send him because of danger it would put his life in. Another reason the courts are ordering him back to America, because he specifically was not to be sent to El Salvador because that is where he fled persecution, where even the Trump administration admitted this was a mistake. They did so without due process. Fix your mess up. That simple. But it's just radical judges. What we need to focus on, though, is that the way they view immigrants is disgusting. Like, this is inhumane that just because he came here undocumented 14 years ago as a child, despite him now having a family, despite him not having committed a crime, we should have no care that we sent him to a country where he might be killed. Let alone, like, let's even forget, like, we're not even saying bring him back here, give him citizenship, let him vote. But the fact that they can't even bring him back here and then deport him to a country where his life isn't in danger, that they're just saying, let's wipe our hands with it. This is a human being. Right? Not only is it a human being, but it's not a criminal. It's not a gang member. It's not someone who came into this country with ill intentions. It's a family man who came here as a child fleeing persecution. And we just sent him to his deathbed. And they're saying, good.
But in our state, we have issues where we have politicians standing up and trying to make a point, directing state and local officials not to listen to federal law. How does that benefit the people you represent? I would love to see the state of New Jersey. I would love to see America, everybody come together and say one thing: keep America safe, have law and order. You come in illegally, you got to go out, you got to come in legally. You commit a crime, you're out. And by the way, state police and federal police, we're going to work together to get to that. That's what America asked for. That's what they want. That's what I want personally in the state of New Jersey. I want everybody to work together to fight violent crime, to get criminals out of here, and to have peace in our country.
Remember, guys, the MAGA worldview is that if you're from a different country and you came here as a child fleeing gang violence, but did so without the proper documentation, you're a criminal and you needed to be deported, even if deporting you is going to cost you your life, even if you haven't done any crimes in the country. But if you're a straight white billionaire, you can rape a woman and be president. And that's law and order. You could be found guilty for 34 felony counts with 54 pending felony indictments. And your party isn't even going to, they're going to throw a tantrum that you even have to go to court and be sentenced. But you can still become president because, well, they care about keeping America safe. I don't know how these people can even take them so serious, let alone anyone else take them serious. And directing state and local officials to disobey the government giving you orders to overstep constitutional protections for Americans sounds pretty goddamn patriotic if you ask me. But who knows? Maybe I'm just a woke lefty who cares more about country than party. How dare I?